Yes, welcome back, and now let's start the program. We're going to begin by looking at IDPs across the country. Internally displaced persons in Nigeria suffer a lot of hardship, including malnutrition, sickness, insecurity, lack of access to education, and idleness. My tongue is getting in my way this morning. I hope it's not swollen.
No, it's not.
The vulnerability of displaced persons is a major reason why sustainable strategies for rehabilitation must be considered and implemented. And as part of efforts to tackle this menace, the President said his administration has begun the process of comprehensive compilation of their data to speed up their settlement. We look forward today to when the settlement will begin, because we understand that most of those at the bottom of this are women and children. Now, to look at this issue with us this morning, it's my pleasure to welcome in our studios in Lagos the Executive Chairman of the Borno State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Engineer Satomi Ahmed. Good morning.
Good morning.
And joining us from Abuja will be Mr. Emmanuel Osemeke, who is country rep for Social Welfare Network Initiative. Good morning, Emmanuel. I hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
I believe he can.
Okay, jolly good, jolly good. Now, let me begin with Borno State, which is getting the brunt of this. Engineer Ahmed, what is the fate of IDPs in Borno State at the moment? I know that they have spread to other parts of the country, but what is the situation where you are?
Actually, so far, the Borno State government, alongside the National Emergency Management Agency, together with the International Organization on Migration, IOM, has achieved a comprehensive data, what we call the displacement tracking matrix.
Sorry, can you say that
the
again?
Displacement tracking matrix,
okay.
DTM. This data clearly shows the actual movement of the IDPs. And you are quite aware that Borno is the worst affected state. It has affected 22 out of our 27 local governments. And we manage these IDPs within our camps. 17 camps within Maiduguri Metropolitan and Jere. 17, yeah, with a total number of 152,000 IDPs, mostly, as you said earlier, women and children, which is a vulnerable group. And with the effort of our gallant militaries, we have so far over 15 satellite camps within the LGS that was being liberated by the gallant Nigerian military. So the pressure and the level of commitment by the state government and the national government, I think for now there are a lot of plans after the data. In line with the plan that even Borno State government went ahead and create a ministry, what we call the 3RR, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and resettlement, working alongside with the office of the Vice President with different sectors such as the FINE, the Presidential Initiative on Northeast. So for now, we have been managing them very adequately according to the world standard, working along with all the international partners. Since we are not practicing a cluster, we are practicing in terms sectoral coordination system. There is a sitting government. What I mean by sectoral is if I have an issue on health, I will directly refer to the Ministry of Health in charge. If I have issue of protection, because the most affected are women and children, which they require a lot of protection. That's why the Ministry of Women Affairs is there, the Ministry of Education, working along with all the international partners. If you came to Borno State,
and the NGOs.
And the NGOs. Then if you have a program for education, we will direct you from the SEMA to the appropriate sector. Then we will sit down and analyze if there is a gap. This is where we're going to feel which contrary to the previous term when, before the coming of this administration, I mean the national government, because the Borno State government suffered much in the previous government. So
now, what do most of these children do in the camps? Because it's difficult to keep children occupied under normal circumstances, and then they're in a camp.
Yes.
What do you get them to do all through the day, every day?
For your information, all of the 17 camps, we have schools. The children are going to school. Even extramural classes are being organized by some NGOs. The psychosocial services is being adequately catered to the protection sector, or led by the Ministry of Women Affairs. So we have over 800 psychosocial services that is being provided. But most of the children at the school age, we have what we call School at Emergency, initiated by the Borno State government in collaboration with the Presidential Initiative on Northeast. And even the FIND project has sent some containerized classes in form of containers, well secured and standard. And for now, across all the 17 camps, the school is going on, and it's a directives of the Borno State governor actively asks all the local education authorities of the respective local government to move into the camps so that they will cater for these children.
What about the women? What do they do all day?
The women, we are very much passionate about the men. Even before this insurgency, in the Northeast, women are left behind. And the Borno State governor is very passionate about entrepreneurship of the women. And this time around, apart from the gap that exists in terms of allowing women to go into entrepreneur, because in Northeast it feels like it's a masculine activity, entrepreneurship. But His Excellency is passionate about seeing these women going into business. That's why there are a lot of programs so far on the ground in seeing that these women are engaged. So we have entrepreneur centers across all our camps now, tailoring, catering, and all the NGOs are now working to see that at least they have filled up the quota and the gap.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's go over to our Abuja studio. Mr. Semeka, you work with the internally displaced persons, your agency, that's Social Welfare Network Initiative. Tell us what you think about this database that's being created to ensure that all the internally displaced persons are captured.
Okay, thank you very much, Nelta. The data tracking matrix is basically a device, a project initiated by the humanitarian country team, which State Emergency Management Agency led by Engineer Satomi Ahmed, heads, and of course the UN OCHA in Borno State, and of course other international NGOs and national local NGOs who are part of the HCT, and is a project that is spearheaded by International Office for Migration. So the idea basically is to track movement of IDPs. IDPs because of course that IDPs who are majorly from Borno State, a lot of them live in Adamawa, were displaced in Adamawa State. Many others also were displaced in several other states. And the government haven't come up with in recent past of the victories in many of the local governments, and of course the cordon and search operation being concluded, and some of the mines in the farm locations also being removed. The government also have probably considered some of these local governments safe enough. So what they began to do late last year, December through January, February, and of course as we speak now, is to move a lot of the IDPs who are in other states outside of Borno State back to their local government. So a camp-like arrangement is created in the local government headquarters, and these IDPs are also in such situation there is need to have proper data of who is who. This is not just for the IDPs outside of Borno State, but also IDPs who are also in the camp. And I think it's also been extended to the IDPs in the host communities. And of course, also, you won't forget that there are refugees who are in Niger, who are in Chad, and who are also in Cameroon. So when these refugees are also brought back into the country, what this structure does is that it also takes cognizance and takes record of the IDPs, both in terms of gender, in terms of age and all that, who has come in, where are they from, and all that. So it helps for ease of tracking, it helps for to identify them in terms of when they are going to be empowered, or it's all together to ensure that